Now. Because what I just saw cannot be unseen.
The bridge of the ISS Meridian hummed with quiet tension. Commander Daniel Reyes sat at the central console, his eyes fixed on the tactical display that dominated the far wall. Tactical briefing. Core conflict, blinking in cold blue letters. Around him, the command crew moved like clockwork. Armored soldiers standing guard, alien analysts murmuring over data streams, the low pulse of engines vibrating through the floor. For 3 weeks, the Meridian had been monitoring the skies above Korhal, a fractured world caught between human colonists and the native Veth Empire. Daniel had been sent not as a warrior, but as a negotiator, the last human voice standing between peace and annihilation. It hadn't been easy. The Veth didn't trust humans. And humans, after the first skirmishes, didn't trust the Veth either. That was when Queen Lyra Veth had arrived. She was unlike anything Daniel had imagined. Her skin shimmered faintly violet under the bridge lights, glowing white markings tracing patterns across her face like living constellations. Her presence alone silenced rooms. But it wasn't her appearance that unsettled the crew, it was her eyes. They missed nothing. Today, she stood beside Daniel's console, reviewing satellite footage of a supposed ceasefire zone near the Korhal debris field. The footage looped silently, ships drifting, stars blinking, nothing unusual. Then Lyra's hand shot forward. "Stop," she said. "Freeze that frame." Daniel paused the feed. The room, mid-conversation, fell into sudden stillness. On the screen, frozen mid-motion, was a single anomaly, a small vessel bearing no human or Veth markings, tucked behind a derelict satellite. Its hull was matte black, angular, foreign even by Korhal's strange standards. "That's not one of ours," Daniel said slowly. "It's not one of mine either," Lyra answered, her voice tight. "And it's positioned exactly where my people agreed to stand down." A soldier near the door shifted uneasily. The analysts stopped typing. Even the hum of the ship's engine seemed to quiet, as if the Meridian itself was holding its breath. Daniel zoomed into the frozen image. The unidentified ship's hull bore a faint symbol, a circle split by 3 jagged lines. Lyra's breath caught. "You recognize that," Daniel said. It wasn't a question. "The Draven mark," she whispered. "A faction my people exiled centuries ago. Extremists. They believe peace between species is a betrayal of our blood." Daniel felt the weight of her words settle into the room. If the Draven were active again, and positioned inside the ceasefire zone, then this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was sabotage. Someone wanted the fragile truce between humans and Veth to collapse, and they wanted it to look like one side broke the agreement first. "If this footage leaks," Daniel said, standing, "my command will accuse your people of treaty violation. Korhal burns within the hour." "And if I report it to my council," Lyra said, "they'll accuse your fleet of planting evidence to justify an invasion." For a moment, neither spoke. The frozen frame glowed between them, a single image holding the fate of 2 worlds. Daniel exhaled. "Then we don't report it." "Not yet. We prove what it actually is, together." Lyra studied him, her glowing eyes searching his face the way she might search for a lie. She found none. "You'd risk your rank for this?" she asked. "I'd risk more than that," Daniel said quietly, "to stop a war neither of us asked for." She nodded once, sharp and decisive. "Then we move fast. The Draven ship will not stay in range long." Within the hour, Daniel authorized a single stealth shuttle, unarmed, unmarked, carrying only himself, Lyra, and 2 trusted crew members. Helm Officer Mara Chen and Lyra's bodyguard, Kale Dawn. No backup. No second chances. If anyone discovered an unsanctioned launch toward the demilitarized zone, both sides would assume the worst. The shuttle slipped through the debris field in silence, drifting past broken satellites and the bones of long-dead ships. As they neared the coordinates from the frozen frame, the Draven vessel came into view, dark, predatory, powered down as if waiting. "It's not abandoned," Kale muttered, scanning the hull. "Power signature, low but active." Lyra's markings pulsed brighter, a sign Daniel had learned meant fear, carefully restrained. "They're recording," she said. "Building footage to fake an attack. If we don't stop this now, they'll release manipulated evidence within hours." Mara worked fast, hacking into the Draven's transmission relay. Lines of alien code scrolled across her screen until, finally, she found it, a pre-recorded video, engineered to show a human warship firing first into Veth territory. Fabricated. Convincing. Devastating. "Got it," Mara said. Uploading the real footage, the frozen frame, the Draven ship, everything, straight to both command channels. Human and Veth. "Do it," Daniel said. The moment the truth broadcast hit both fleets simultaneously, the silence that followed was different from before, not tense, but stunned. Commanders on both sides watched the same frozen frame Daniel had seen minutes earlier, undeniable proof of a third party trying to ignite war between them. By the time the shuttle returned to the Meridian, the ceasefire held, shaken, but intact. The Draven ship fled before retaliation could reach it, but the lie it carried had been exposed before it could spread. That night, Daniel stood on the observation deck, staring out at Korhal's curve against the stars. Lyra joined him, her presence as quiet as starlight. "You froze a frame," he said, and the whole room went silent. "I think that silence just saved both our worlds." Lyra studied the planet below. "Sometimes the smallest truth," she said, "is the only thing strong enough to stop the loudest lie." Daniel nodded. For the first time since arriving at Korhal, he allowed himself to believe peace might actually hold. Behind them, the stars kept their silence, but it was no longer the silence of fear. It was the silence of two worlds choosing, together, not to fall apart.